Have you ever looked in the mirror and counted how many hairs you still have? Or casually checked your hairline to see if it's moved back just a little? After a shower, have you ever stared at the clump of hair caught in the drain and thought, when did it start falling out like this? Is this the beginning for me too? And let out a quiet sigh? If so, give me just 10 minutes today. Before you start taking hair loss medication, changing just one thing you put in your mouth every day could completely change the future of your hair. Hi, my name is Cathy. I spend a lot of time studying how the human body works and what roles nutrients play. My goal is simple: to help everyone understand their own health clearly and take responsibility for it. So I'll explain the basic principles of how your body works and how to protect your health in a way that's easy to understand, without complicated medical jargon. But first, an important note. This video is for educational purposes only. I am not your personal physician. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional regarding any medical concerns. Now, before we begin, I promise you 3 things. First, I'll explain everything in simple language that even a middle school student can understand. I'll keep complex medical terms to a minimum. Second, I won't talk about miracle detoxes, 1-week belly fat removal, or regrow your hair in 7 days tricks. Methods that sound too good to be true usually damage your metabolism. Third, by the end of this video, you'll understand the most efficient way to take care of your body. Once you know the basic principles, you'll know what to fix first and what practical steps to take. If you have a family history of hair loss, your hair is getting thinner, and you stare into the mirror every day thinking, there's no solution if it's genetic, will I eventually need a transplant? Then hit subscribe, like this video, and stay focused. First, we need to understand exactly why hair loss happens. People say, it's genetic, there's nothing you can do. That's half true and half false. The real culprit behind hair loss is DHT, short for dihydrotestosterone. It's a modified form of testosterone, the male hormone. In your body, there's an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. When this enzyme interacts with testosterone, it converts it into DHT. Here's the problem. When DHT attaches to hair follicles, the follicles gradually shrink. As follicles shrink, hair becomes thinner and eventually stops growing altogether. A 2023 study from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine found that people with hair loss had scalp DHT levels 2.8 times higher than those without hair loss. The higher the DHT level, the shorter the hair growth cycle and the thinner and weaker the hair. So having a family history of hair loss means you inherited genes that are more sensitive to DHT. Even with the same amount of DHT, your follicles react faster and more aggressively. Now you might be thinking, okay, Cathy, I get what hair loss is, but what do nuts have to do with it? More than you think. Nuts are high in fat, and the type of fat directly affects DHT production. There are 2 main types of fatty acids in nuts, omega-6 and omega-3. Omega-6 promotes inflammation and activates 5-alpha reductase, increasing the conversion of testosterone into DHT. Omega-3, on the other hand, reduces inflammation and inhibits 5-alpha reductase, lowering DHT production. So depending on which nuts you eat, there can be a huge difference in DHT levels and hair health. A 2024 study from Harvard Medical School found that hair growth rates differed up to 3.2 times depending on the type of nuts consumed. Peanuts and cashews were shown to activate DHT and accelerate hair loss. Walnuts, however, helped suppress DHT, strengthen hair follicles, and even support new hair growth. Peanuts are extremely high in omega-6. In a 2022 UCLA dermatology study, participants who ate 30 grams of peanuts daily for 12 weeks experienced a 23% slower hair growth rate and a 37% increase in scalp DHT levels. Cashews contain about 7,800 milligrams of omega-6 per 100 grams and almost no omega-3.
They're also high in copper, and excessive copper interferes with zinc absorption. Zinc is essential for hair growth. Too much copper can lead to zinc deficiency, which worsens hair thinning. Now let's talk about walnuts. Walnuts are the richest source of omega-3 among nuts, about 9,000 milligrams per 100 grams.
They contain alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, a type of omega-3 that converts into EPA and DHA in the body. EPA and DHA strongly suppress inflammation. Chronic scalp inflammation weakens follicles and accelerates hair loss. Omega-3 helps prevent that. They also inhibit 5-alpha reductase, reducing the conversion of testosterone into DHT. In other words, they reduce DHT production at its source. Walnuts also promote follicle cell growth, act as antioxidants, improve blood circulation around hair follicles, enhance nutrient and oxygen delivery, and reduce oxidative stress that damages follicles. In a 2024 24-week Harvard Medical School follow-up study, 150 men with a family history of hair loss were divided into two groups. One group ate 30 grams of walnuts daily, the other ate 30 grams of peanuts. After 24 weeks, the walnut group saw a 28% decrease in scalp DHT levels. The peanut group saw a 34% increase. Hair density also showed a dramatic difference. The walnut group gained an average of 18 hairs per square centimeter. The peanut group lost 7 hairs per square centimeter. Hair thickness increased by 12% in the walnut group, but decreased by 8% in the peanut group. Both groups ate nuts, but the type made a massive difference. And walnuts don't just contain omega-3, they're rich in biotin, essential for keratin synthesis, the main protein in hair. Zinc, which blocks DHT production and supports protein synthesis and cell division. Selenium, which regulates thyroid hormone metabolism. And vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant. A 2023 Tokyo Medical University study reported that a group supplementing with vitamin E saw a 34.5% increase in hair count after 8 months. There's one more important food: pumpkin seeds. Multiple evidence-based studies show that pumpkin seed oil inhibits 5-alpha reductase, the enzyme responsible for DHT production. In one 24-week study, participants taking pumpkin seed oil experienced a 40% increase in hair count compared to the control group. Pumpkin seeds are rich in phytosterols and zinc. Zinc is essential for keratin production. Without enough zinc, hair becomes thin and brittle. Now, you might ask, okay, Cathy, how much should I eat? Great question. The optimal daily intake is walnuts, 30 grams, about 7 to 8 halves. Pumpkin seeds, 1 teaspoon, about 4 to 5 grams. Be careful not to overeat. 30 grams of walnuts contain about 195 calories. It's best to eat them in the morning on an empty stomach. Absorption is better, and the anti-inflammatory effects last throughout the day. If you eat walnuts, soak them overnight in water. This removes phytic acid, which can interfere with nutrient absorption. Choose raw, non-roasted pumpkin seeds. Heat can damage healthy fatty acids. Peeled green raw pumpkin seeds are ideal. Don't overeat them. They can cause diarrhea in excess. You can also add 1 to 2 Brazil nuts daily for extra selenium to reduce scalp inflammation. If you're serious about hair loss, simply switching nuts isn't enough. You also need to avoid foods that make hair loss worse. Be careful with sugar, white bread, and white rice, foods that spike blood sugar. When blood sugar rises, insulin increases. Insulin raises male hormone levels, which increases DHT. A Stanford Medical School study found that people consuming high-sugar diets experienced hair loss progression 1.8 times faster. Avoid processed meats like ham, sausages, and bacon. They're high in saturated fat, which promote inflammation and reduce blood circulation to hair follicles. Avoid alcohol. Alcohol depletes zinc and vitamin B and impairs liver function, disrupting hormone metabolism. Beer, in particular, contains hops that increase estrogen and cause hormonal imbalance. To see noticeable improvement in the hair growth cycle, you need to stay consistent for at least 3 months. Let's summarize. If you're worried about hair loss, stop peanuts and cashews immediately. Replace them with walnuts and pumpkin seeds. Eat 7 to 8 walnut halves, about 30 grams, and 1 teaspoon of pumpkin seeds daily, ideally soaked and eaten in the morning on an empty stomach. Stay consistent for at least 3 months. If possible, combine this with external care like walnut oil scalp massage, proper shampoo use, and scalp massage. Without medications, procedures, or expensive products, just by changing your choice of nuts, you can begin today. Start now. Order walnuts and pumpkin seeds today, soak them overnight, and eat them tomorrow morning. 3 months from now, you may look in the mirror and notice new hair growing. If this video helped you, please hit like. Share it with friends or family who struggle with hair loss. Subscribe for more fun and practical health information. And leave a comment about your hair loss concerns or your results after trying this method. I read every comment. Have a healthy day. Bye.